There are additional rules on the Form Styles PDF document that you may wish to incorporate into your form, and they are in this Input section. I already have a rule created called Input Focus, and let me back up just by saying that the input are the text fields where your user is typing out the information. So the actual field itself could start out with a different background color, border, what have you, before they even do anything with it. When they hover over that text field, it could have some different properties. And then focus means while they are typing into it. So I have a focus already, but let me just create another one to show you that this would happen in the compound category, input hover. So let's see, I'm just going to pick a different background color. Again, hideous. I would never choose these colors. So I have a hover. When they hover over it, it's going to turn this lovely royal blue, but while they're actually typing into it, it will turn this pink color. So as I'm looking at this in the live view, sure enough, here's my hover, and then while I'm actually typing into it, I guess it's kind of on the change, it turns pink. I don't use those very often. I think it feels a little bit clumsy, but you may see other designers use those and wonder what they are. Something that I do use or try to employ are some kind of styles to make this organization look a little better. When you have varying widths of your names for the text fields, it can look a little bit sloppy. So if we could create a rule that we can attach to these names so that they're always the same width, that they always have the same sort of appearance, I think it will help make this look better. Now the problem is, as I highlight name and I look over in my HTML, it doesn't have any place to attach a style to it right now. It's just, name and address. It's really just typing. So I do want to alter my HTML a bit just so that name, address, and email can accept the same rule that I'm going to be writing. So to do that, I'm going to surround that with a span class equals, and I'm just going to invent for the time being a class name called item. That could be any name. So surrounding name, now we have a span class item, and then we've ended that span. I'm going to take that same span class equals item, copy that, and put it in front of address, and also put that in front of email. So I can use the same rule. I want to make sure that I'm getting the ending span tag as well. Okay, so we've changed our HTML in a way that we can now write a rule that can affect the organization of this. So now I will go in and write that rule. So the rule is going to be called item, and it's already, I guess because I have it highlighted, it has sort of named it, but it would be dot item or period item. And really anything that's going to affect this, from the positioning to the color to the size. So let's make some changes just so that I know I'm actually affecting this. Let's pick this lovely new color. Okay, so we really have targeted these particular items. The main thing I wanted to do this for was to affect the positioning and make it look more organized. So most of that is going to happen within the block and the box categories. So I'm going to start out by saying, let's create this sort of fictitious area, this width. I'll just say 100 pixels for now. I'll probably back off of that because I think that's going to be too big, but I want to make sure it's a width that will accommodate the longest word or words that are, sitting in front of the text boxes. Even though these are sitting in line right now and the items following them are sitting right up next to it, I'm still going to include float left so that this has to sit up next to it no matter what. Now, kind of thinking this through, if there was room next to this, this is floating left. In theory, this could come up and sit next to it, and we don't want that to happen. So not only do we want it to say float left, but we also want it to clear both. So only the next item will sit next to it. When we come to the next element that we've attached the class item to, it will force it to clear both and go to the next line. So if that didn't make sense, just kind of trust me, try both the float left and the clear both, and you should have some success. The other thing I want to do is in the block category, I want to make sure that my text is aligning to the right. I think that will just look neater to have that sort of right justified edge. So let's hit apply and see where we're at, and that looks pretty good. The difference that I'm seeing here between the lines, between name and address, I have a break. Between address and email, I have a paragraph. So those are just two different issues that I'm not going to be able to change right now with my CSS. But now that I see this, it's looking nicely organized. So I could probably back off a little bit from my width. And also it's feeling a little bit sort of cramped right here. So in the box category, I might also want to add a little bit of margin on the right-hand side just to sort of push that away a bit. And maybe that's too much, but you get the idea, hopefully. So we're able to take something that used to be very ragged and very unorganized and just really through one style, adding it sort of selectively, we're able to achieve some organization.